In a dry and dusty place where the sand sparkled gold stood a mighty flat rock, all craggy and old. Look at that craggy rock. And on top is a lion, and a giraffe and a baby giraffe, far in the distance. Do you see how this house is squeezed between a crack in the bottom of these rocks? And under that rock, in a tiny full house, lived the littlest, quietest, meekest brown mouse. He was so very tiny, so incredibly small, that nobody noticed him ever at all. Hello? Hello? He's as tiny as a butterfly. This gazelle is looking around, and there's a giraffe standing high above. He got stepped on and sat on. Ow! Ouch! He missed out on stuff, ignored and forgotten. His mouse life was tough. See the tape on his tail? His tail is constantly being stepped on. Meanwhile, far above, on top of the rock, times were quite different. It was lion o'clock. Look at that baby elephant. This huge toothy creature made sure everyone saw how important he was by how loud he could. That's a wonderful illustration of a lion. He was head of the pack. He was shouty and proud. Roar! Roar, roar, roar. He loved flexing his biceps and wowing the crowd. That hippopotamus isn't sure what he thinks about being upside down. Yes, all were impressed by this mighty king cat. If only, thought Mouse, I could be more like that. See, little Mouse, he's so tiny. None of the other animals notice. Look, there's some lemurs, and there's some, what are those called? Do you know what those are called? Meerkats? And that's a Pumbaa. That's a warthog. Those are from the Lion King. Then, late one dark night, in his tiny mouse bed, the cleverest thought popped into his head. He leaped up in the darkness and held up a paw. I've got it, he said. What I need is a roar. Roar! I mean, what if this mouse with the weeniest squeak were a little more grrr and a little less meek? He'd be frightening. Well, he'd still be the smallest of fuzzy brown mice, but he'd make friends and join in, and life would be nice. See, all the other animals would respect him. Yes, thought the mouse, I must find out how. I will learn how to roar, and I will learn it now. How to Roar by A.A. Mouse. He has to stand on top of his own pots and pans to reach the top shelf. But it wouldn't be easy. There was only one beast who could teach him this thing, but might make him a feast. How to roar. He's going to have to go and ask Lion, but Lion may eat him. It was time to be strong, take a chance. After all, forever was such a long time to feel small. When you wish upon a moon, there's the bright morning sun. So he made himself brave, and he thought like a winner. He set off for the top, hoping not to be dinner. Look, there's bugs at the bottom. There's a praying mantis. Those are actually quite frightening. And this is a large beetle as big as him. It felt like the scariest thing he could do. But if you want things to change, you first have to change you. That is incredibly true. The farther he climbed, the closer he got to the slumbering lion reclining on top. See him? He's way up there. After all of these bones. What a dangerous climb. Then at last, as he stood on his tippity toes, he found himself suddenly nose to nose. Ahem! me. Wake up, Mr. Lion. You've got company. Squeak, Mr. Lion. What I've come to you for is squeak. Do you think you could teach me your roar? He's right there, nose to nose. A silence befell that twinkling plain. Lion opened his eyes and puffed out his mane. Time went so slowly, it felt like a week. Then he opened his mouth and let out an eek. He's jumped off the ground. The lion curled up in a terrified ball. He didn't like this, not one bit at all. "Don't hurt me," he whimpered. "Oh, try to be nice." Well, this mighty great lion was frightened of mice. "Don't worry," Mouse peeped. "I'm here as a friend. Let's hang out together, be pals to the end." That was a magical moment for sure. When the mouse didn't feel at all small anymore, he had found his true voice and learned to speak out. And for that, you don't need to roar or to shout. He can whisper in Lion's ear. And from that day and always, the two were a pair. They both liked that rock better, now that rock was to share. The mouse, while still little, felt big in his head. And Lion, he still roared, but with laughter instead. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Yes, that day they both learned that no matter your size, we all have a mouse and a lion inside. And there they sit together on top of the rock, best friends forever. Because Mouse overcame his fears and climbed the great rock. That's The Lion Inside.